Hey everybody, I'm Chris, the co-founder and CEO of Plume. Has anyone heard of Plume here? Plume Network? No? Good, I'm a brand new company, so I'm be surprised. Now, has anyone, oh, there we go, my man, good. Oh, two, good. All right, how many people know about RWAs? Real world assets and all that nonsense, yeah? Good. Now, how many people actually use RWAs and buy this stuff? Oh, one, okay, usually it's zero, good. And I think that's kind of the problem. That's what we're trying to do here at the end of the day. So what we're doing, Plume is a chain. We're building a new EVM compatible chain that's focused on RWAs. And really the problem we see in the market is two things. One, there's a lot of excitement, hype, and buzz around RWAs, which is great. And then you ask people, is anyone actually using this shit? And the answer is no, right? Because most RWAs today are boring. They're not very usable. There's a bunch of KYC nonsense, blah, 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 blah. Nobody uses any of this shit. But it's a very real thing. It's useful to get some real yields that come out of stables instead of a bunch of fake governance tokens. And last, it's good to mix these things together. It's also a bridge to bring more net new people and new dollars in, right? And so what we do is we take a lot of the infrastructure required with RWAs, we bake it into the chain, right? And so the idea is very simple. If you think about RWAs, real world assets, and real world assets are everything, right? Today, people think a lot about T-bills and institutions, right? Again, things that none of us fucking care about, right? But if you think about RWAs in general, it can mean anything, right? We're talking about collectibles, maybe it's sneakers, Pokemon cards, or whatever, right? You can do a lot of speculative things like just straight up, degenerate stuff, maybe taking out a 50x lev long on the price of a Taylor Swift ticket or something like that, right? That's an RWA as well. So there's a lot of different things you can do in RWAs that we end up supporting. So the story for us is very simple. If you look at RWAs today, what we're trying to do is bring a lot of net new dollars and people into crypto and do this in a way that's also native to crypto and understand how to do this. RWAs today, 95% are people in TradFi and suits coming in trying to sell regular shit to people like us in crypto, right? And the truth is, nobody gives a shit, nobody cares, right? And so what we do is we help those people take these products and package them up and deliver it in a way that we can actually consume and things that we actually like to do, right? And crypto use cases are very simple. There's only three things we really like to do. One is we like to get yield. Two, we like to do buy, trade, lend, borrow, all that stuff. And three is speculate. And so going off the things I talked about earlier, what we do is we take the infrastructure on RWAs, we bake it in the chain, make it very easy for any asset issuer to deploy things on chain. And we focus our efforts on those three categories. And so if you're deploying stuff today, the first is, for example, yield, right? We take a lot of things that are a little bit more, again, stable and yield-bearing assets. So for example, we have $1 billion fund that's partnered with us that owns most of the land in Texas. And not on the surface, 300 feet below the surface where all the oil is, right? And again, the only reason that matters is because at the end of the day, no one cares about oil, but people care about 20% APY. So if we tokenize that yield, you can bring that on chain. We get anyone who's holding that at 20% APY that gets paid out monthly in stables without you thinking about anything. So you can use that in a native yield fashion, get your money, continue to do your thing. And once you get on chain, we need to actually give people things to do. Right, so the second area of things we do is, what are things people actually do today that are RWA related? It's either buy, trade, lend, borrow, right, or speculation. And so if you look at the first category, what are things that people do today that are buy, trade, lend, borrow, right? The obvious thing is we love tokens and we love NFTs. It's very simple, right? And if you look at things like sneakers or collectibles, at the end of the day, if you're looking at a picture of a monkey that's a JPEG, you can either do that or look at a picture of a sneaker that's also backed by a shoe, right? So what we do is we have a bunch of protocols building on us now that are focused on those types of things. You take Pokemon cards, you take sneakers, these types of things. You can buy, trade, swap these things. The new Dior Jordans come out, you want to get a pair, right? You think it's going to go up and the price is going to pump. The new Travises come out, you want to get them. Buy the NFT, right? You can do the thing. And instead of sitting there waiting for it to come to your house, making sure you don't get robbed while the price goes up, and then dumping the thing, you can just have it come to your house, put this thing into a vault, take out some collateral, lock this thing up, do your thing in crypto while you're waiting a bit, and when it comes time, dump it, sell it, and move on with your life, right? And so that's the kind of stuff that we end up doing and focusing on. Maybe the last use case is speculation, right? And so again, I mentioned this earlier, a lot of people when they think about RWAs think about actually tokenizing some asset. Let's take something, tokenize it, bring it on chain. That's cool, but it's slow. It's hard, it's boring, it's painful, right? A lot of things, again, in crypto, you can do purely without any of that. You can just do purely synthetics, right? So a lot of protocols that are building us today are focused on things like just bringing a price feed, right? You bring in a price feed of X, Y, Z, and that's why I say you could take out a 50x lev long on the price of Taylor Swift tickets. She's traveling around town. You think the hotels in the area are going to go up? You should be able to take out this. You should be able to bet on that, right? So little things like that. We have protocols that are doing even more esoteric shit. You can bet on the murder rate in San Francisco is a simple example, right? Like that's probably one more extreme example. People are doing things like that, right? So that's the idea. We build a lot of these tools, which are both the tokenization element, but also taking price for more esoteric, illiquid assets, bringing that on chain so you can make it very easy to build tools on top of this stuff in a crypto native way. That can get us to actually use this stuff, which then is a bigger draw to get actually the institutions to come in and dump some money. And it also helps them understand And no one wants your shitty fixed yield income or whatever it is, right? This 2% bond. At the end of the day, you should build products that people actually want and bring them over. And of course, the benefit is it comes in with real yield. It's attractive to us because we know what this thing is. And there's a sector of people that are focused in the real world that also want these things. So we can get that in and get some new dollars. But keep and stay true to the kinds of things that we actually want to buy and use, right? Versus two distinct audiences. Right? There's the TradFi folks that do whatever the hell it is, and then we have what we're doing. So that's what we're doing. We do the infrastructure to build and put this stuff together. We've been around for a couple months now. We've got our team comes from a very crypto native background. We've got folks from BNB Chain, Layer Zero, DYDX, Robinhood Crypto. So we're a very crypto native team, and so that's why we're building this tool. We have 50 projects building on us today. We're on a private devnet now. So if anyone's thinking about RWA stuff, we're obviously helping. We're doing grants and getting people going. We've got projects coming. And so any random ideas you have, feel free to come. I would love to talk to you guys about it. We're planning to do an open incentivized testnet soon. So obviously stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter, comment on Discord. Take a look, get involved in the community, and we can kind of figure out from there. And then, of course, we'll do the big campaigns, and everyone can come in and click some buttons, get some points and all that. And then we'll do a mainnet after that. So that's the story for us. Thanks for taking the time today. I'll keep it short and sweet. And glad to meet y'all.